It is my pleasure to introduce and to welcome to the stage Mr. Beris Grey, President, CEO of Sygnus Capital. Please make him welcome.
The Honorable Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Mr. Milton Brady, Chairman of Sygnus Capital, Mr. Linval Freeman, Chairman of Sygnus Credit Investment, Mr. Horace Masado, Chairman of Sygnus Real Estate Finance, and of course, Mr. Wayne Iton. Actually, his name is Clement Wayne Iton. Most people in the market know him as Wayne Iton, former chairman of Sygnus Credit Investment. Members of the Sygnus team, my fellow co-founders, executives, moderator, distinguished speakers and panelists, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen who are present in this room, and those who joined us virtually. Good morning.
Good morning.
And on behalf of the Sygnus family, I would like to say a warm welcome to Sygnus Day. Sygnus Day is the first and largest alternative investment summit in the Caribbean. The first. This is another milestone by Sygnus, and you can ask Jason and Ike. This was in the business plan actually 5 years ago. Yeah, we talked about it, Sygnus Day, the exact name actually. We didn't think about the theme. And today's theme, the emergence of alternative investment, or the emergence of regional alternative investment. Before I get into some discussion around the theme and Sygnus itself, I want to just step back a little and answer a question that I've asked a million times maybe. What is alternative investment? Alternative investment is simply investment which does not necessarily fit into the traditional categories. The traditional categories being bonds, your listed equities, fixed deposit at banks, traditional loan financing or loan market products. Those are your traditional investments. Most times they are traded publicly. Alternative investment, on the other hand, represent investments such as your private credit, private equity, real estate investments, derivatives, commodities. All of these hedge funds, all of these investments are classified as alternative. And some of the benefits and the reason why alternative investment has grown globally and we are seeing it emerging in Jamaica is because it's normally uncorrelated with the debt or equity capital markets, and as a consequence, you do not experience that much volatility. So it's in a way used to neutralize volatility. It provides diversification, and of course, in many instances, things like private equity represent patient, flexible capital. So those are some of the benefits of alternative investment, which I'm pretty sure my panelists and speakers will talk about. Now that we are clear as to what alternative investment is, then we can start talk a little bit now about the theme and a few points around some of the big ways to really move the alternative investment market. But let me revisit the theme. the emergence of regional alternative investment. And it's a quite fitting theme, because Sygnus itself has emerged over the last 5 years. Sygnus has emerged over the last 5 years as the leading alternative investment manager in the region. And our platform today provides alternative investment solutions through private equity, private credit, and real estate investments. We have raised over $700 million US and deployed that in alternative investments from Bahamas in the north to Aruba in the south. So we have basically been transforming the market over the last 5 years. We have also forged a lot of partnerships. We have worked closely with pension funds, government agencies. We are one of the founding members of CARIA, the Caribbean Alternative Investment Association. And that is a platform, again, that will help to push the market. We are passionate about growing the alternative investment space. This is our passion. Sygnus has a mandate to make the alternative investment space across the Caribbean as common and understood and accessed as the traditional banking space. That is what Sygnus want to do. We want, when portfolio managers, pension funds are thinking about allocation of capital every year, they are discussing in their strategy session, we need to increase allocation to alternatives. We need to put X more % in private credit, X more in real estate, etc. When we get to that level, then we would be well on our way to transforming the space. When businesses want to do acquisition, they should be thinking about, okay, where can I get mezz financing? Where can I partner with a private equity fund? When persons want to do what you call value-added real estate investment, they should be thinking about alternative investment solutions. That's our passion. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is that we have a remarkable untapped opportunity in the space of alternative investment. Let me put it in context for you. Our estimate is that the alternative investment market in the English-speaking and Dutch Caribbean is roughly about 700 million at best, maximum 900 million. That is probably just about 0.75 to 1% of gross domestic product, GDP, across all of these markets. I'm excluding Puerto Rico and the Spanish-speaking at the moment. What I'm saying is that it is 0.75 to 1%, which basically means it's minuscule. In the US, alternative investment, according to Preqin, one of the leaders in alternative investment research and information, alternative investment is 4.8 trillion, just under 5 trillion of asset, which represent roughly 20% of their GDP. So the runway that I'm talking about is if we in the region, led by Sygnus, can move the market, transform the market such that alternative investment represent, say, 10% of GDP over a 10-year period. We're talking about, about $7 to $10 billion in the English and Dutch-speaking Caribbean. When we put in Puerto Rico, Dumrep, and the other Caribbean islands, Central America, for example, we are talking about a $30, $40 billion market. That is the scale of the opportunity that we as incumbent stakeholders and players in the alternative investment market should be pushing to achieve. At that point, capital will be flowing through an alternative channel that is a bona fide representation and sustenance to catalyzing economic growth. At that point, people with ideas like what we had 5 years ago can raise capital at a faster velocity. And all of those things will accelerate value creation and wealth creation. That is what Sygnus Day is all about. How do we engage stakeholders in the alternative space? How do we educate them about the opportunity? And how do we expose them to international trends and the asset class in general? Let me, since we have the Honorable Minister here, I want to make two important points, because I know the Minister listens keenly. He's a great listener. Yes, he's one of those politicians who is a great listener. There are two things I want to leave here, left with you today. Two things. In order to achieve what I just talked about, which is Sygnus' dream, and Sygnus is committed to that cause. One, we need to implement specific legislation and incentives, those could be tax incentives or otherwise, to support the creation of private equity fund in Jamaica. Specific legislation and framework. A lot of countries in the world who have been successful at this have specific legislation. US, for example, passed legislation around private equity and venture capital fund creation from far back as 1958. And I do not need to tell the story about how entrepreneurship has flourished in the US, how the alternative market has flourished. Everyone knows it, because there was specific legislation allowing for capital to flow into these specific alternative vehicles. REIT legislation is another one of being that. We have to pass specific legislation for REIT. There's no need for us as entrepreneurs in Jamaica to be going to St. Lucia and Cayman and all over the place to be setting up IBCs. There's no conference or summit about alternatives in those markets, and I love those markets. They're great. I love them. There's none. There's no alternative deals happening. We are the guys in Jamaica who are pushing the envelope, creating MES structures, receivable financing, all of those type of structure. So why not? Let's embrace it. Let's complete the ecosystem and put legislation to allow us to transform the market to the next level. And my final point, or my second point rather, I don't like to make a lot of points. I only normally try to make 2 or 3. My final point is to scale to the level that we envision, we need to attract international capital into the alternative investment space. Ladell. Ladell from BlackRock is here. Why? Because to get that process started, we need to engage international partners. We need to educate them about the alternative investment opportunities and the fund managers and how we are structures, our expertise. And we need to expose them to the different sectors where they can make money. We need to expose them to impact investing opportunity, to hospitality industry. We need to expose them to clean energy and all of those renewables. These are great opportunities. We need to expose them to all of these alternative investment opportunities, because I believe that if we expose them, educate them, and engage them enough, they will see the value and they will see returns. We will find deals of scale. We will find deals of scale. Sygnus just executed a pretty large deal, $25 million. And that's just one transaction in Bahamas. So I'm saying there are deals of scale in the market to get international partners in. So bring it together now. If we are able to attract international capital into the alternative investment space. We are able to put legislations and other changes that will attract and that will drive entrepreneurship and make fund managers like ourselves more flexible and aggressive and sort of less constrained. When you combine both of those with the local and regional capital from pension funds, family offices, etc., then you can start envisioning the reality of the scale that I'm talking about. That's what we need to do. And I'm very happy that the minister is here for this, to listen to this point. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm very passionate about alternative investment. So I could go on and on and on. But I don't want to be selfish. I can't be selfish. I'm a Sygnesian. We're about teams. And we have gathered a great panel team of expert speakers from all over the world to come and share with you insightful thoughts on alternative investment, to share with you how to create greater value from alternative investment, to engage you, educate you, and expose you to the world of alternative investment. So I will close by saying, once again, on behalf of the Sygnesian family, I would like to thank you sincerely for supporting this milestone event. I would like to thank you for always giving Sygnus opportunities to showcase our capacity. And again, I would say welcome to everyone. Enjoy Sygnus Day, learn as much as possible, and have fun. Thank you.